Hello students, Michael Sanchez, violin teacher here. Welcome to today's class. We're going to be working on the song Greensleeves today, and I'm showing you guys how to work on this in third position. So yeah, this is a piece where it definitely is not as efficient to play it in first position all the way. So when I teach students how to play this song, I typically have them start either right in third position or work their way up into third position. So I could do either one, but let me just show you guys what's starting in first position. And then we're going to be shifting up on the D right here. And then the third finger is going to be touching the 2. And then I would suggest staying in third position all the way until here. So this whole part is going to be in third position. Here's a half step. Here's also half step, half step. And the biggest thing with those sharps, those G sharps, is making sure that the thumb is in the same spot when you're in third position. So it should be even with where your first finger is in third. And then when you do a sharp, like a G sharp on the D string, it's all about putting your 1 in a higher position, half step higher. But I'm basically feeling the 1 based on the thumb being in the proper spot. So if my thumb was off, if it was back here or forward or just random, then it would be hard for me to really know where that G sharp is. So my suggestion for you guys that are, doing third position is really focus on the thumb guiding the shift and making sure that's always in the consistent spot. So when I'm in first position, my thumb is even with the 1, and as I shift, then it comes into third, and they're always even until I actually have a low 1 or high 1 in third. So one thing you guys could practice is, let's take first finger on the D string, and I want you guys to work on shifting up and down, trying to keep the thumb consistent with the shift, like this. Like that. And as you're doing that, try to just make sure that you're holding the violin properly with the chin and the shoulder, and that you're loose in the left hand to where it's easy to just move the 1 and the thumb together. Don't let it drag behind. The next kind of step to really work on the consistent thumb is to add maybe a different finger when shifting in the third, but still guiding with the 1 and the thumb. So basically it's but do that while focusing on the thumb. Now if I go into third, or 4, like that. And then eventually it's going to feel a lot easier to find those consistent notes based on the thumb and the 1 being proper, even though I'm not playing the 1. So and that was all based on my thumb really being consistent to where I know how far that is. If I didn't have my thumb doing the same thing every time, I would have trouble being in tune. Raise your hand if that makes sense. All right. Thumb, thumb, thumb. Okay, so being able to find that G sharp in third is extremely important, and the thumb's going to help us with that. So let me just play the first line. Shifting back there. The nice thing about this one is that you should keep the first finger down for the first G sharp because you're coming right back to it here. There's no need to lift that finger up. So try to maybe play those 2 measures, leaving the 1 G sharp down. Now I just lift the 3 and it should be right there. And as you play that, try to pay attention where the thumb is. Most likely it's maybe not in the spot right below the first finger like it should be. It might be even with it. That's pretty common of a lot of beginners. is that they kind of move the thumb based on where the 1 is, which is improper. You definitely want to make sure it's with the normal 1 position, not the high one. So let's do that again. Let's pay attention where the thumb lands. All right, so as we play that, is your thumb like this, and the 1 is high. Should be just like that. And then as you shift down, your thumb and the 1 should be even, parallel to the fingerboard. It's like that. All right, so that's the fingering I would do for the first line. Now right here, I would shift down. So this is the fingering I did. Right here, we're back down to first position. And here I shifted the third. I would say this measure is easily out of tune, and the thumb would be easily off spot during that measure. So let's work on that. So it's going to start in third, fourth finger on the D, thumb back consistent. Do it again. Like that. If you can even memorize that and just kind of watch what the hand is doing and the thumb is doing. But if I was maybe grabbing the fingerboard too tight, I would easily be sharp or flat there. And also, if you're not grabbing the fingerboard too tight, you're going to be able to do better vibrato. All right, this next part I would suggest doing in third. Like the first. Back to first. And if you're able to get fourth finger vibrato on that, most likely you're doing a good job with not grabbing too tight and relying more on the chin shoulder to hold it. If you're not being able to get much of vibrato on that last 4, yeah, you might be just relying too much on the left hand to hold the instrument, and maybe grabbing too hard while you're shifting. Because as you're shifting, you want to always be as loose as possible to feel how far you're going. If there's any restriction with the hand and the fingerboard, then you're going to not always go as far as you need to go for a shift. So you want to feel that smoothness on the fingerboard, which is hard to do if you have sticky hands if you're grabbing too tight. Raise your hand if that makes sense. Sticky hands, not good. All right. So yeah, kind of finishing up the fingerings here. I think you guys are definitely on the right track if you guys can do that fourth finger in third position and get a nice vibrato. So let's try that. So the third line. Should sound like that. To be able to do that, try to aim the fourth finger on the very edge of the string. Don't hog the string by putting the 4 all the way on top of the string to where the meat of the finger is in the middle. Put the pinky more on the tip of the string, and then just try to not press down as little as possible, just enough. The rest of the fingers don't press much, just keep them loose. And then you should be able to get that vibrato on the 4. So even just doing that run, trying to get vibrato on each of those notes. Like that. Really, I would do vibrato as much as possible, like on even every note if you can. Certainly not easy to do that, but the more you can, the better I think it will sound. So if I start from the beginning and really focus on getting a lot of vibrato. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can notice or not, but the rapidness of my vibrato is pretty consistent throughout. So I'm not going, speeding up, slowing down. I'm pretty consistent throughout. Not saying that it's not good to vary, the speed of a vibrato, but sometimes it's just good practice to try to do it all at the same speed throughout. And if you can't do that, I would suggest maybe avoiding the 16th notes and then maybe the 8th notes. For sure, getting them on some of the longer notes. So, for example, if you're more beginner with vibrato, maybe getting on that note, maybe getting on the quarter note here. Quarter note again, vibrato. Just trying to do it as much as possible and making it consistent. Good. All right. Just kind of curious for the people that are here right now, raise your hands if you guys feel like you could vibrato at least half the notes. You feel like you could do that? Okay. Raise your hand if you could vibrato every note. Feel like you could do that? Okay. A couple of you? Cool. Good. So, yeah, I'm not able to hear all you guys' vibrato right now, but I do notice a lot of times people that even say that they can do it on every note, they tend to be really forcing it too much, like, and then it's not consistent. It's better to do that sort of idea than kind of trying to really get it to be rapid. Because the thing is about doing it too rapid is that then you're maybe doing it rapid but then slowing it down like you're doing. This doesn't sound as musical. I'd rather have it be, at least to start, like that, then like that. Eventually, if you do it consistent like that, you're going to be able to get it better over time. It's going to be more, actually, I didn't do it as good as I could have done it. So, but that right there isn't forced. It's consistently quick. I'm doing it throughout. I'm not just doing it at the very beginning or end. I'm doing it throughout. So if you can do this, I want you guys to notice how it's not changing the wave. The vibrato wave is not changing. It's not. It's. So yeah, try to implement some of that consistency into your playing. All right, so work on that for this week. I'll take a screenshot and send it to you guys and hang out with those that are here right now if they have any questions. Otherwise, if you guys have any questions outside of being here in the live class, feel free to email me at michael@superiorviolins.com. Have a great day.